Sounds like you're ripping a bong on that thing every time.
Welcome to the Blabbermalt Show with your host, Dave and Mathias, two guys that blabber incessantly about beer, brewing, and bullcrap. Stick around while they brew up another tasty episode. Yeah, all right,
What's
man.
up? What's up?
Welcome, episode 20, August 1st, 2023.
Big 2-0,
Thought
brother.
we would have been canceled by now.
I think we were.
Yeah, we just keep going anyway.
We just keep going. It's all great.
Hey, Mathias.
Yes, sir.
Last week, we were out at a tremendous brewery. They treated us like royalty. I'm not sure we deserved it.
Definitely did not deserve it.
But we brought him here.
But we brought him here.
Hey.
Hanging out today with Drew.
Hello.
And Ralph from Terrestrial. Guys, say hi.
What's going on?
What's up? What's up?
Nice. Yeah, we had a great time at the brewery. Appreciate you having us out there.
Yeah, it's it's good to you guys to get out and be able to have a fun day with us.
Yeah, enjoyed a flight of some great beers.
Yeah, thanks.
And I think we got another one here from you guys and ABC collaboration you guys just did.
Yeah, it was a fun time. Hippie Tendencies. We did a cold IPA together. The release was last weekend. Awesome beer. Fun time making it.
Yeah.
Always a good time hanging out with you guys.
You guys share the same system, sort of.
Yeah,
Portland Kettleworks.
Both have a Portland Kettleworks system. They have a little bit bigger of a mash tun than us, so we're a little jealous of them. But no, it's awesome to be able to walk into their brew house and essentially be able to control it. It's all the controls are the same. It feels like home. So it was a fun experience.
Super comfortable.
Oh yeah.
Well, Dave, before we get started, how about we mash in? It's time to mash in.
Yeah, before we get too far, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the buttons on socials, Facebook, and excuse me, YouTube. We are The Blabbermalt Show, and on Instagram and Twitter, we are at Blabbermalt, or I should say X. Twitter is no longer Twitter.
I saw that. My phone
It's
turned
X.
into X. And what's going on with my X? So I had to, Google
I saw
it and
that,
find out what's going on
that
with
logo.
that.
I'm like, what the heck? What is this app that got installed on my phone? It's
It
Twitter.
just said, but there's one X, not like
That's just X.
No, it's
three
getting
X.
It's not triple X. I know what that is. Yeah.
It's a weird X now. I'm like, what is this?
Just
What
boom,
did I
boom.
subscribe to?
Anyway.
And if you want to ask questions today, anybody for us, future shows, make sure you can reach us out at blabbermalt@gmail.com.
That's right. Yep.
Sweet. So we talked about here, we had a really cool collaboration event on Saturday.
Yeah.
We got invited out to Terrestrial, where they. Why don't you talk about what we did there that day, and then I'll kind of step in.
Yeah, for sure. So we're celebrating our 1-year anniversary of our kitchen opening up. So if you haven't been to our spot, we have a tap room on one side, and then we have a dining space on the other side we call Terra Kitchen. So we were kind of celebrating we were celebrating the 1-year anniversary of that. So we had you up. We released the beer on that side, and then we listened to some good tunes.
Some great tunes.
Buddy Bobby Neal, he's
Had a blast.
awesome.
Patio was wonderful. It was gorgeous out.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Awesome sunset.
Pete came out.
What?
Oh,
I
yeah.
know.
A Pete sighting in public?
Pete sighting in
Get
public.
out of here.
I know. It was crazy.
Hey, to come up for the festivities.
Brought the
you know?
wife. We drank some great beer.
Yeah.
Not only do we have hippie tendencies, we poured some of your other specialties you had on that day.
Yeah, I think you tried, quite a bit.
Maybe one of all of them.
I think so.
Maybe one of all of them. And then by the end of the night, after we listened to some music, went back inside, and Ryan was there, and we cracked open some specialty cans that he had been saving.
Oh yeah, that kid. He collects and collects, and he always has some crazy bottles or cans up his sleeve. He brings out of the woodworks. But yeah, he's good at collecting beer.
So much fun. So on Friday, though, Dave, I went to an 80s party.
What?
Yeah, I know. It was a fundraiser for the Avon football.
Okay.
And, I've been growing out the hair just for that.
Nice.
Right?
I like it.
The wife asked if I was going to cut it, so it's going to stay.
Of course.
For quite some time now because of that. So it was dressed up in really short jean shorts.
Oh, nice.
I did
Sad
see
I
you
missed that.
flash Me with the picture. It was pretty
Super jean short jean shorts.
You didn't have to do that, right?
No, I did.
Okay.
I've been tanning for that.
Okay.
right?
So what did they have? Music or what was the festivities?
Yeah, so everybody dressed up in 80s clothes, and they had some music and dancing, and just a lot of fun. So,
Cool.
And Avon Brewing Company was the sponsor for that event. So
Nice.
just a lot of fun to get out and hang out. We didn't go to a brewery that weekend other than heading a terrestrial all day, which was a lot of fun. And my cousins came up from Cincinnati for the day.
They were super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had a good time. How about you?
Well, nothing really this weekend. I did go to the Incarceration Fest a couple weeks ago, and that was all day music fest. It might be my last. I'm just 12 hours of metal and mosh pits and stage crowd surfers. It's a lot for an old man. So, we'll do some shorter events, maybe.
Maybe. You say that today until it rolls around next time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's when my wife says, yeah, you say that now.
Ralph, I heard you went to fish, I heard.
Yeah, I did fish at Star Lake, which is like kind of outside of Pittsburgh. They played 2 nights. Went the Saturday night. I had to drive back after, so I couldn't have too much fun, but it was an awesome time. I mean, I've been following that band around, since 2009, pretty hard. So, me and my wife met kind of doing that, and it's an excuse for us to travel the country and see a bunch of cool spots. So yeah, if you get a chance to see Fish and you haven't, do it. You're screwing up if you don't.
You heard it right now.
Like Fish is kind of a band that you have to seek out. I mean, I don't think you hear much Fish on the radio.
No.
So I listened to some Fish since we had our podcast last week, and I gotta say, pretty good.
Yeah.
Like chill, jammy. I think it might replace, like Sunday morning I wake up and put on Yacht Rock. I think that's done. I think I'm going to put Fish on now. Yeah,
you cycle from Fish, Jimmy Buffett, you can't go wrong with those two.
Yeah.
You just got to bop back and forth, It's a good times.
It's a great Sunday morning.
Yeah.
How about you, Drew? What's going on with you?
I went with a buddy to see the Dream Theater show the other day at Nautica. Some prog metal for us.
No way.
It was
Dream Theater
great
fan.
Time.
You just made his day.
I knew I loved Drew.
Brew beer and loves metal.
Yes.
It's good stuff.
We'll talk after the show.
Should exchange some digits.
Yeah.
Should be fun.
All right, should we hit the Vorloff?
I'm in. It's time for the Vorloff.
All right, so the first thing that happens in the Vorloft is we pour beer.
So we brought today, we have the crowd over here is excited about that.
Yeah.
Our collaboration that Ralph mentioned, Hippie Tendencies, we talked about that at our last show. We brewed a cold IPA and about 8%, and we hopped the crap out of it at every stage of the game and treated it like we would maybe a hazy, right, where we did a whole bunch of Whirlpool hops. We hopped it during High Krausen. And then we did 2 massive dry hops.
Yeah.
We did that with a little bit of Citra, heavy on the Amarillo and heavy on the Mosaic. And boy, I mean, we're going to crack it here, but it came out wonderful. So we'll do that. We'll crack it. This is available at Avon Brewing Company and at ZZ's Big Top and at Terrestrial.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
definitely can get that anywhere you want. So grab some glasses. Let's share some brewskis and chit-chat.
You do the honors. This is my favorite part of the show so far.
And we're just getting started.
Oh, yeah.
Even smells. I was
Yeah.
making these cans up this afternoon. Ooh,
Bigger glasses.
Thank you.
it is just a. It's pungent.
Yeah.
Aroma's there.
All right, cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers. And it's cool that we decided to do a cold IPA. I think it kind of suits our personalities, meshing together. Your brewery and our brewery. I think it was kind of a perfect choice for us to do, and yeah, it couldn't have turned out any better.
No, I think it's probably one of the best cold IPAs we've done. Hop schedule was what I wanted to do, and obviously you guys came in and we tweaked around the dry hops and went heavy on the Mosaic in the second, and it's solid.
Yeah.
And I'm digging that Amarillo too. It's
I know we haven't used Amarillo in a while, and we were talking, shortly after we tried the beer, and we're like, man, I think we got to get some Amarillo in the brewery soon. We haven't played with it in a little while. So, it's awesome.
Yeah, it brings in a lot of the fruit notes from the Mosaic, but then it finishes with a little bit of that dankness, which really helps round it out, keep it a bitter beer, a real IPA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like an icky, sticky orange. Like it's just, it's right there.
Oh, yeah.
Ties in with the name, right?
Tells with the name, a little bit of hippie tendencies. And that's a good collaboration with us, too. I mean, if you can been to Avon Brewing Company, and we did our release on Thursday with you guys. Came out, we had a great time. That was a fun party.
Yeah, you had some fun food specials on, some Funyun wings.
Some Funyun wings.
Some like strawberry, cream cheese, pretzel bites and stuff like that.
Yeah, everything bagel pretzel bites with strawberry jalapeno cream cheese, which only added to the quote-unquote stoner appetizers that we have on the menu already, which is your favorite cheese sticks. Tell us about that. I know we've seen it online.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on with the cheese stick thing?
So, yeah, we have a group of friends. We're Mozzie heads. We go around and we try everyone's mozzarella sticks, and we give them a rating on this particular thread that's been going on for, 3-4 years now.
At least.
And yours has been one of the highest rated so far. The Doritos bacon Mozzie sticks are crazy. If you haven't had them, you got to try them. But yeah, we go around, try them out, and see how everyone stacks up. So
now, if somebody tries to throw on a frozen mozzarella stick,
we'll know that right away.
You can learn a lot from about a place from their Mozzie stick.
Yeah, it's wild. We'll go to places like, and we know this place would be awesome, and then they're terrible.
frozen.
Yeah. You gotta season the breading. The cheese. There's an art form to it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there is. The one thing I wish that would come out more in that flavor profile is that kind of crazy nacho cheese late night Dorito flavor. But it deep fries off, I think. But they're still wonderful. Wrapped fresh mozzarella and bacon.
Yeah, it has almost like because like the tortilla almost has like not a corn dog quality, but it kind of like hints at that, which I really like. I think it goes really well with it.
It's complex stoner food.
Yeah, well thought out, complex stoner food. My favorite.
Yeah, and we're the best part about it is we just won best family dining restaurant in Lorain County with stoner food. So
little do they know,
it's not on the kids menu.
Yeah, it's not on the kids menu.
Yeah.
No, it's fun like that. So again, we had a great time having you guys out. I want to do another one with you guys pretty soon. It'd be great to.
Yeah, I think we should do something soury or I think
100%.
Just
Total.
that conversation. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, would love that. We're happy to have you guys in the studio to really kind of get down and do a deep dive on who you are as people, kind of let our audience and the internet know really what makes you tick, right? What got you into craft beer? All of those wonderful questions. And I'll start with the first one. How did you, we'll go back and forth. So Ralph, we'll start with you. How did you get into brewing? What's your story?
So I kind of fell in love with beer in college, just picking out beers kind of solely based on the art of the bottle. And then eventually got a job at a wine bar that had, 350 craft beers or whatnot. And I kind of fell in love with it up there. Moved back to Cleveland, and I, still had this love for beer. Started working on East 4th Street, and was buying beer for this place on East 4th Street, downtown Cleveland, and started doing beer events, beer dinners, stuff like that. And then just from the being intrigued by it like that, I wanted to get into home brewing and kind of see what was in this. I thought it was amazing that a lot of people drink beer and not many people know what it's made out of, and it's wild. So I was interested in what made a beer. Why is it beer? I had no idea that it came from barley. It was blew my mind. And then just being intrigued by it, I wanted to get into to brewing it. So me and Drew were downtown, and we went in on some brewing equipment together. Took the plunge. It was kind of expensive to buy a kettle, buy a mash tun, do all that. So we kind of went 50-50 on it, and had no idea what was going to happen. And after the first couple beers, we're like, oh man, this is fun.
Nice. So what year was that?
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember?
You'd be better at it.
2007.
So
2007-ish.
nice.
So, and at that point, we were going up to the Cleveland Brew Shop at that time, getting grain and stuff like that. And also the gentleman that cleaned our lines downtown owned a company, and they were about to open a new brewery called Platform Beer Company. So I, just from knowing them in the scene, they asked me to kind of come along as their manager up there, which, kind of made me fall even more in love with beer. And I got to see how to start a brewery at that point. So
That's cool.
and then we took it and ran with it.
Whoop, whoop. Drew, we heard that you guys got together on the beer system, but kind of bring us up to speed on that with you.
So started off in the local bar scene, bartending right around 21 years old, and fell in love with the industry and the craft world with that. Moved on to working downtown and met Ralph at that. Decided that we wanted to give a whirl at the homebrew style. We're a little bit handsy. We're willing to figure out stuff, and got the Gatorade bucket from Home Depot and drilled in.
Handsy, like.
Yes, that too.
I couldn't pass that up. You lobbed it. We sat there for a while. I made some
I'm
faces
okay
on the
for it.
internet.
I'll give him shit about it later.
But we're able to build some equipment and figure out what we like to do. Took the brew in a box recipe and tweaked it and adjusted the ingredients every time and tried to make something a little bit different that you couldn't get off the shelf in a store already.
Yeah, Drew had brewed one time. He cheated on me. His first time. He brewed with some other dude.
And he got
for his
handsy,
first beer.
and you
got
still
handsy.
cheated. Son of a man.
So he kind of knew the ropes. So he, obviously we went over the instructions, but he more or less kind of led that brew day, just because he had done it once before. But yeah, like you said, the first, beer in a box that we did, we took the recipe and kind of ripped it up and did our own thing, and
Nice.
it actually turned out good. So
What was the base beer? Do you remember?
it was a pale ale. I think it was like Founders Centennial Pale Ale clone or something like that, and we were obsessed with Three Floyds at the time, and so we turned it into like an Alpha King clone or something like that, and we called it Ralpha King. So
Nice.
Hey, at least let you name it. He walked you through. It was gentle, and he named it after you. It's fine.
Yeah.
the second one was named after him, but I don't. It was like a peanut butter. I don't even want to. Never mind. Carry on.
So
This just got deep quick.
So you mentioned Three Floyds. That obviously one of your inspirational beers that got you into brewing.
Yeah.
What are some others that really hooked you?
No. First, Arrogant Bastard. I used to buy, the 22-ounce bottles of it just because it looked cool in college.
Yeah.
And then we'd play beer pong, and everyone would be playing with Bush and
You're playing with
Keystone,
Arrogant
and
Bastard?
I would be playing with Arrogant Bastard and wondering why I'm not being able to make it the entire night, and then realize that, the power of it, really. But Arrogant Bastard, there was a brewing company, Moylan's, that had a really hoppy beer called the Hopsicle, and it was absolutely crazy. That and Victory Hop Devil were kind of, the first ones that kind of came about, and then Alpha King. The first time Three Floyds was in Ohio before they left, and they came back.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah.
So how did you, before you get to you, Drew, I want to kind of pause on that because it's fun for me. How did you guys play beer pong? So there's a whole bunch of different ways, and there's a story behind that. But how did you guys
Our
play beer
specific
pong?
rules?
Yeah, what were your rules?
Oh, you were allowed to bounce. You were allowed to swat. There was the you could blow it out. If it was spinning around the cup, you can blow it out. We didn't like that rule. But
Did you use paddles or did you just the toss?
No, we throw.
So in college at Dartmouth, it was a sport, right? So you had a huge table and you would do a tree, right? So 11 beers, and then you would play like ping pong. It had to be really high, and you had to lob it. So they would hit it to you, you had to hit it in. Same rules after that,
With a
right?
paddle?
With a paddle. Break the
my
handles off though,
gosh.
so you have to hold it. And you're back and forth, you're sweating and chugging beers and having fun. And so you hit it back over, and if it sinks it, they drink the whole cup. If it hits it and they can't save it back over, it's only half the cup, right?
Okay.
So it's 11 beers. And so I bring the story up only because I went back to Dartmouth a couple weeks ago on our trip up to New England, and took my daughter down to my fraternity pretty late at night.
All right.
And played a couple, like three games of Pong with her. It was the best
Was
thing.
it still the same old rules?
Exact same thing,
my
man. It was a
gosh.
blast. And I won the first two, and she was like, Dad.
It's like riding a bike.
I'm like, yeah, I'm a stud. And then the third one got to me because she wasn't drinking, she was driving, and that was it.
Oh, I thought you were like,
3
shut
beers.
up and drink.
No, not at all. I took one for the team for that, but lots of fun. That's just a fun thing. But arrogant bastard, no way, Jose.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Death.
After a couple times once I figured it out, I was like, no way.
All right, that was a little introduction to that. Sorry about the breakaway, but
No, that's okay.
Drew, what about you? Gateway beer into craft.
Working in the corner bars, we were just drinking Rolling Rock bottles and PBR cans, but slowly found Two Hearted from Bell's, and that was really the IPA that taught me that IPAs can taste good, and went on to like 60 Minute from Dogfish from there, and the classics, but the dank, resiny IPAs for sure.
Nice. Right off the bat, too.
We forgot to mention Great Lakes too. I mean, I guess they were, if you're counting the very, 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 first exposure to it. I mean, seeing Great Lakes, Storm Under Gold around, and Christmas ale. I mean, the fabled Christmas ale years, where there was not much productive things happening when Christmas ale was on shelves.
Yeah.
Did you ever play beer pong with Christmas ale?
I not with Great Lakes Christmas Ale, but Fezziwig Christmas Ale from Sam Adams.
Nice.
Our weird landlord once gave us like a mystery like holiday box of Sam Adams in college, and we immediately tore through it and played beer pong with it.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah,
For a minute.
for sure.
So, obviously, you both now do this as a job professionally. What prompted that decision to go professional? And we talked about the fact that you went to, like most people here in our area, work and get their grain and such from the Cleveland Brew Shop, and obviously frequented across the street,
Yeah.
right? We did the exact same thing. Literally, that was our starting point too. What was that? What did it look like for you? What was that transition to pro brewing life?
Yeah, so me and Drew, we were ambitious from the start. Maybe about our 15th, 20th batch in, we had dreams of wanting to do this as professionals, and we had a couple meetings with Rick Seep from Willoughby Brewing Company, RIP Willoughby Brewing Company, to try to get some advice from him, or kind of be a mentor to us, and give us a lot of really really good advice that we took to heart. And always had a dream of opening our own place, and platform came around. I was able to help them build their first 3-barrel brew house, and did a couple batches of beer on their system with the brewer at the time's help, and try to figure that out. And I was lucky enough to meet my business partner now at Terrestrial over the bar at Platform. He believed in us. I brought up some home beers that me and Drew had made, and he kind of had the same passion and same, ideas that we, aligned with what we wanted to do. We wanted to take our plunge to open our spot, and had some faith in us, and we eventually opened up. Had the idea to open up Terrestrial, and I called Drew and was like, "Hey, how would you like to not bartend again?" And we really put the nose to the grindstone and try to figure this thing out. So it just kind of fell into our lap a little bit. I guess you can say we were lucky, but it wasn't just us sitting around. I mean, we were constantly working, at the goal of opening our own spot. And if we didn't get lucky that way, we would have figured it out eventually, because I feel like that was literally our calling in life.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's awesome.
Since I have a very similar story to him, I can just add a couple of things on. And one is that we joined the Snobs pretty early on, and we're able to meet a lot of like-minded people. And get some criticism and get to try some other beers. And then we were in the right industry, so we were able to actually take a homebrew to a professional brewer and be like, hey, what's wrong with this? What don't you like about it? And get some, honest feedback from people that we trusted. Yeah. And it really helped motivate and be like, hey, if, they're saying that this is pretty good, then maybe we do have something here.
Yeah, the scene in Cleveland, wasn't pretentious. And, like you said, we can walk into pretty much any brewery, ask for the brewer by name and, try this. What do you think? What did I screw up? Or, what can I do better next time? So, yeah, everyone was pretty cool with sharing ideas. And we came up with, our concept of terrestrial. And, it was based off of a small system that was, we really didn't want to get into too much distribution. We kind of want to be a destination spot. I want people to spend, a day or two with us and really kind of take in our atmosphere, our vibe, our food, our, kind of understand what we're all about.
And I can say for one, being there plenty of times, mainly hanging out on the original side.
Yeah.
But then taking in the bistro or the kitchen now. Wonderful. Food was fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, our chef, Herb Singleton's.
Herb is the man.
He is the man.
I mean, I had a wicked sandwich. I had the Nashville chicken sandwich. Ooh, so good. The sprouts were good. I mean, everything was good the whole day. So if you hear what he has to say, you haven't been in Terrestrial yet, make sure you get down there. How do they find you? Where are you guys located? How do you do you have Facebook, Instagram? What's it look like?
Yeah, you can check us out on Facebook and Instagram, just Terrestrial Brewing Company. Where if you've ever been to Edgewater Beach in Cleveland, we're right on top of their beach with a big smokestack that says Battery Park. But the address is 7524 Father Frascati Drive in Cleveland, Ohio. But it's awesome. We're right by the beach.
That's a great little neighborhood, too. Yeah. A lot of people, built-in patrons.
They keep adding on more and more, and it's gorgeous down there. I mean, you guys, I think you took a little quick walk to the beach.
Took a stroll. My Cincy fan was like, "We want to see the lake now."
It's right there,
and we just went down the tunnel. We didn't partake in any Ryan ideas of what to do inside the tunnel.
Thank God.
Yes, relieving himself in the tunnel. No, we went right through the tunnel. Went and saw Edgewater Park, which I've not been there in a while. It is really nice. I mean, the whole area around you is now just grown up so much.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Metro Parks did such a good job with it. It's gorgeous there. I mean, you almost don't feel like you're in Cleveland when you're down there. It's, it's a nice little escape.
Especially up there on that boardwalk. I didn't see any beers of yours on that little tap system down there.
No, they're not very nice to us. Not kidding. No, like I said, it's tough for us, especially in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know how it is. We have a small brew house, so especially we do a lot of hoppy beers. Our yields aren't like super high or anything like that, so it's tough to I just want stuff to stay in house so I can keep stuff on tap for 2.5 weeks. Sometimes beers are gone in 6 days, an entire batch. So it keeps us going, and it just makes it tough in the summer to pass out our beer, unless we did some contract brewing or something like that.
Sure.
But we do have a crowler machine, and if you have a backpack, then you have one of our beers at the beach.
Yeah.
Boom. Stop in, get a crowler, right? Put it in your backpack, walk through the tunnel.
Chug it in the tunnel.
They don't care, I promise.
Yes. Cans on the beach are fine, right? Cans on the beach are fine.
Don't go swimming.
So you guys touched on, the philosophy of a destination brewery. Let's talk about your beers and the beers you decide to brew.
Yeah.
How does that connect you to the local area, the neighborhood, Cleveland, and is that a priority for you guys? Is that important?
Yeah, we try to brew pretty seasonal, or if we can use local ingredients, we totally do. We are inspired, if there's local honey around, or some sort of fruit or something like that's in season.
Fresh Ohio hops.
Fresh Ohio hops when it's that time of year. We worked at local malting companies, house malts, and we I like to call myself a space cadet. I don't like to do the same thing all the time. I get super bored. So we're always constantly trying to push ourselves, call ourselves, experimental brewery, just because we experiment with new beers all the time. And if we like something, we might bring it back. But it's really whatever we're feeling at that moment. I mean, every 2 weeks we sit down and Drew pulls out his notebook. What are we gonna brew? And we literally figure it out on the spot. At that moment. And then the tanks kind of dictate what we can and can't do, or if we were trying to save a yeast strain, or we might get a call from Fatheads or someone else that says, hey, I have these hops or this fruit. Do you want it? And like, yeah, I'll make a beer around that right now.
Yep.
A simple way to look at local for me is fresh, and we're just the neighborhood place that isn't going to be serving old beer. We brew a small amount, and it's gone in a couple of weeks. And if you want something, brand new right off the tank, you can always get it there. Yeah. By staying local neighborhood and keeping it small, we can always keep it fresh.
Yeah. If we don't have to, if we don't have to move beer out of a bright tank and it's just served in there until it's gone, that's it's best case scenario.
Don't have to wash kegs.
Yeah, we don't have to wash kegs, and beer's mortal enemy is light and oxygen, and we're risking that every time we fill a keg or we're moving it around. So the best we can eliminate those two items from our beer, we're doing it.
Yeah. So since we were there Tuesday, I was thinking about, you guys have some crazily named beers. Back in the day, it was Bud and Blatz and Yingling Lager. It's just the brewery name and the style of beer. And then it got a little more creative. But even like Anchor Steam beer is kind of lame. But now it's what's the
big black furry creature.
The big black furry creature from Mars, and we got Headhunter and Zombie Dust and all these. Is that just like, for me, when I'm naming a beer, I can't play a guitar or sing or write a poem, but this kind of connects me to something creative, and brewing beer is creative. Yeah. So you mentioned Three Floyds. I mean, they have some crazy artwork and names to their beers. Is that something you guys aspire to do? Is it just you like connecting to the bands you like? And
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Beautiful shirt.
Yeah, I mean, the kind of way we name beers is we'll shout names out. Most of mine are Fish references or Grateful Dead references, and we allow each of us we're allowed to veto it. And I might really like a beer name, and Drew doesn't like it, and he gets to veto it, and I have to throw it away and never think of it again. But we do. A lot of our beer names come from our love of music. We have a bunch of
pop culture in general.
Yeah, Ween beers. We've done Dinosaur Junior beers. We've done a little bit of everything, just kind of what we're feeling. But
you ever done any Dream Theater named beers?
No, we might have to now.
I think you're gonna have to.
But yeah, we
Space Divest.
Ooh. Jot that down.
But yeah, music gets us inspired. Art gets us inspired. There's many other things that get us inspired as well, and it's usually kind of off the cuff or whatever. We'll take a sip of the beer and kind of the first thing that comes to our head.
Yeah, ABC does.
One sip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just one.
No, I don't believe that.
I know
That's how we do it,
Not
right?
us.
Yeah,
We have
ABC
several
has some,
until you figure out a name.
Oh yeah.
you got
it's
the wrestling references for ABC.
We do have a
Yeah.
couple of those, yeah, for sure.
I feel like we've definitely done some wrestling beers before.
Or when employees miss
we've
a significant life event.
Yeah, we like to poke fun. Some of our beers too. Like we had an employee, Ken, and you can ask him about this if you're ever up at the brewery. Loves talking about it. That once missed. He was like going to Chicago for a concert or something, and missed. The megabus stopped in like Indiana or somewhere, so that everyone can kind of take a quick breather. And he ended up missing the bus. So we made a beer called Ken Missed the Bus. We had a similar friend, another one of our friends, Katie, who missed her flight to Paris. So we made a beer, Katie Missed the Plane. It's whatever, life events, music, whatever we're feeling.
Our favorite neighborhood dogs.
Yeah, we do. They're dog friendly up there, so we've done several dog inspired beers. from start to finish, thinking of the dog and coming up with a beer style, or a beer that we don't have a name for, and be like, this tastes like Rocco.
That's fun.
Yeah, for sure. So, we try to just be as creative as we can. We have fun with it. We.
Yeah, it's beer. It's not that serious, right?
For sure. You gotta have fun.
Yeah.
YOLO.
YOLO.
Hey,
people love that, and I've been saying this for pretty much since we opened, right? You guys opened in 2017, right? Just 1 year after we did. I say it on a regular basis. Here, crack this open. That people love small, local, fresh, right? And they can come into our spot, your spot every week and get a new beer.
Yeah.
New flight every month or so, and it's just. I love that, right?
Oh, yeah. That's one of the things, I took from Platform is, they did, beer release Fridays, and it got people to come up every Friday to try the new beer, and it was exciting. And
it's an untapped world.
Yeah. Right? So some of them were good, some of them were not good. All of ours are good, though.
All of theirs are good. I can attest to that, right?
You want to go get to the boil?
That's ready.
Let's boil this.
It's time for the boil. Before we move on, let everybody know again how to get a hold of us at the Blabbermalt Show.
Yeah, the Blabbermalt Show on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and X. At Blabbermalt.
Hit that button, like and share, please.
And blabbermalt@gmail.com if you have any questions or comments.
All right, and terrestrial?
Find us on Facebook or Instagram, Terrestrial Brewing Company.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So in the world of home brewing, I made a beer. It's ready to go.
It's about time.
I know. It's going in tomorrow. I got to package it. So
nice.
Keg it, carb it up. I can't talk about it because it's going in the Waterfront Brewfest competition.
And I am judging it.
So I can't talk about the style or anything. But I haven't got my brewer number. I'm waiting for Howard or Chris to come on, guys.
All right.
Give me my brewer number.
Yep. And just not for Dave. If anybody, again, I think we'll still take some last minute homebrew entries. But it's we're already in August. It's the 12th. So not next Saturday, the following Saturday.
It's a good event.
It's a great event. It's at the Black River Landings there in the rain.
Cool.
And it's one of the best beer fests that I know of. And then we have a homebrew competition. And every year in the homebrew competition, the winner, last year we did the winner and second place, get to brew that beer professionally on either our system or somebody else's system. And you brewed at?
I was down at Collision Bend.
And
I've done a couple with you guys too.
For sure.
Yeah.
So
a lot of fun.
Exciting times. Get out there. If you have not bought your tickets yet for the Brewfest, make sure you do. I think you have this week to get a small discount on those tickets.
Yeah, and prices go up, and at the door they jack it up.
Yep. Still fun to get there and worth it.
Yeah.
Lots of beer flowing.
Is there is there anything goes for the homebrew competition, or is there parameters, or you just make whatever you want?
Make whatever you want.
Yeah, it's not even a BJCP style guideline thing. Just do whatever you want.
Those are the best.
It's the best.
Yeah.
And we've had some good beers come out of that. We've had our Blackberry Bambalam was one of Dave's recipes.
Yeah. That was fun.
It was a lot of fun. Our Citrus Trails was a recipe.
Jason
Lowry's beer, which is a great beer. We did another Saison orange peppercorn.
Yeah, that was at Collision Bend. Yeah,
that was good. That was a fun time too. So, guys, if you're not, do you do beer shows? You do outside of the typical ones?
We run a big brew homebrew competition once a year that that's through the Snobs, where we brew 5 barrels of wort. They take 5 gallons of that wort home and finish the beer. They can steep more grains in it, whatever yeast they want.
Nice.
And then we judge it. The winner brews at our place. So, a cold IPA won this year.
Sweet.
Then using Marius. I can't remember his last name. I'm sorry, Marius.
A couple of times now we've done a Rock the Cask Bar event as well, where we get the neighboring breweries to bring a cask, and mostly all the brewers just drink it, but that makes for a good time as well.
We listened to
Absolutely.
Rock the Cask Bar 1,000 times that day.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to. So, are you guys coming to the Lorraine Brewfest as a brewery? Do you know?
Don't have plans at this
Okay.
point. Maybe we'll come.
Maybe next year. Come and hang out.
Guests.
Come as guests. I love that. There's live music, lots of music going on. Food trucks, lots of beer. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we, the first couple of years we kind of burned ourselves out with beer fest after beer fest after beer fest.
Yep.
And, if you're in the industry, it's long days of chit chat with people all day. And, now we kind of limit it. We, winter warmer, we'll never ever say no to, and a handful of other fests I can't even remember off the top of my head, but.
Our Stouted Out Loud.
Yeah, I love the Butcher and Brewer events. They actually have a sour event coming up here very soon. But yeah, I love anything that Lieb asks us to do. We typically do.
Sure.
Good guy.
Yeah. And I want to kind of talk about some of those things in our pro brew happenings.
Sorry, am I getting ahead?
No, not at all. We're good.
Let's hit it.
Well, I just want to talk about, we're going to be at the Lorraine Brew Fest the 12th. We are hanging out, kind of piggybacks on that with Butcher and Lieb at the Barn Bash,
Awesome.
8/19 out in Medina County. So Avon's going to have a tent there. Medina Brewing Company's going to have a tent there. It was a great event. Live music out on that farm that they have. Just a lot of fun. People milling around by the water and just kind of hanging out that day. That's on the 19th. That also is part of Cleveland Beer Week, so you can get tickets through that, Cleveland Beer Week. Come and join us out in Medina County. We have to do the Avon Lake Brew Fest on 8/26, which is a lot of fun in our backyard. And then for those who finished the Medina Passport, which is over this past week that we started, our Medina Passport Brew Fest is on the 27th of August. So that's where we'll be at this whole month. Every Saturday I'll be gone.
Busy.
So just like you said, that's a lot. Looking forward to the month, like what is going to happen? But it's fun to get out and see everybody, talk, shake hands, say hi, have some beers with people. Those are good events.
Yeah, for sure. The networking and, a lot of good beer ideas are born at those events too. And you get a bunch of brewers around talking. So, we should
For sure.
do some more.
Yeah, it's okay. What's going on terrestrial?
You got any new beers coming up?
Oh my gosh. What new beers do we have coming up?
We got some Chimp we're bringing back around.
Yeah, brought back an oldie, Space Chimp, which is our Belgian-style wit.
Ooh.
It was one of our beers that we first homebrewed. So that's coming up here. We have a drag bingo coming up,
Nice.
the 17th, which is awesome. Those are a ton of fun. We do doggy brunch. It's something that people don't know about us. We do brunch every Sunday, and it's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Herb came up with an awesome menu, and every Sunday we have it available. So, yeah, just rocking and rolling. That's what we do.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Thank you. Dave, you
Well done.
found some other people doing some events.
Yeah, just surfing on the internet. Dark Room Brewery is a new brewery opened up in Geneva. It was an old photo shop
saw that.
a photography shop. So they have some old cameras on display, and I don't really know much else about them. So to get out there to Geneva and check it out. Of course, Great Lakes is celebrating 35 years this summer.
That's crazy, right? Think about that.
Wild.
And it's a long time to be brewing beer.
Wow.
But so they're having a bunch of events. On the 19th, they're having a party at the Brew Pub, and they have a lot of retro swag, T-shirts, hats, koozies, stuff like that. They're doing some retro packaging of the old time labels from 30 years ago, 35 years ago, and if you go to that event, or I imagine any time within a week of that, and you use the hashtag GLBC35, you can win some free swag. So take some pics down at the Brew Pub and post them to X.
Post them to X.
Post them to X.
Hashtag
Or Instagram.
GLBC35.
Yeah, so that's fun.
That's wild, man. I have some 25th anniversary Great Lakes glasses, and now I know they're 10 years old.
Yeah.
Now you know.
You get some
How old are you two?
I'm 38.
43.
There you go.
Young.
Young.
Very
young
young.
pups.
I mean, I'm 45, so we'll go with young.
Yeah.
Makes me feel better.
Absolutely.
That's the end of the age announcements.
I didn't say anything, Dave.
So OCBA elected Alan Zutter for a second 2-year term as the president. And we had talked a little bit about this a couple weeks ago. That House Bill 138 wants the Ohio legislature to look at the beer laws to try to exempt smaller breweries that make less than 250,000 barrels per year, which is still a pretty big brewery, to exempt them from the franchise laws and kind of let them get out of those contracts. So I don't know if the legislature is very favorable to it, but they're going to make it another
run.
They just last week introduced it to the
It didn't go so well the first time, but I think
No.
that as we look forward to what that looks like, it is beneficial for people in our position.
Yeah.
If that's something that you feel you need to do to get involved with the distributor, it can be detrimental to some people. And we've had
for sure.
plenty of stories of those who have been sold the dream and just didn't pan out, and that's okay, right? But then being stuck with that person and your beer and kind of in their possession, it can really can hurt.
Absolutely.
Can hurt.
Yeah, it just allows you to get out a little wiggle room.
For sure.
Yeah, and that's been a problem for many years. I remember even on East 4th Street, breweries talking about being stuck in positions with distributors. So hopefully something happens.
We shall see.
Yep.
So local beer releases. Well, obviously, Hippie Tendencies, Terrestrial and ABC, is out now. Get it at both brew pubs and ZZ's, right?
And ZZ's.
Yeah.
And ZZ's, which I got to go to.
We have to go to ZZ's sometime.
Yeah.
Get the pork rinds. I always say that. Get the pork rinds.
Can't beat fresh pork rinds, right?
Yeah,
Made
that's
on the
right.
spot.
Yeah. Yeah. Get them in the dry rub and then get you a different sauce.
Awesome.
Yeah. So Butcher and the Brewer, they're for the first time canning their albino stout. So that's the first time it's been available in cans ever. So
Yeah.
that's fun.
It's good beer. It's a great beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was probably the first albino stout I ever had, I think.
Yeah. Cleveland famous.
Yeah.
Cleveland famous.
Yep.
And now we have one, and a bunch of people have one.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't call it albino stout, right? Obviously, but
No,
that
yeah.
kind of that white stout version of
Yeah.
of a beer with, I think, it's a lot of fun. And I think that actually at the Barn Bash, we're almost out of all that we had, and Kim and Lee had a great idea to bring some of our beer and their beer, and Hoppy Dudes has a white stout, and do a little tasting with some people in
that's
VIP.
cool.
And I'm like, I don't have any more. Like, I really don't have a keg to bring you. It's literally just a little bit.
Yeah.
So I made a phone call to our manager over at Avon Brewing Company and Kevin and crew. I think we got 11 cans. So I
That'll
text her.
do.
I'm like, listen, I only have 11 cans, so I don't think it's going to be that way for everybody, but maybe something small for a VIP,
Yeah.
something fun.
Yeah.
And she was like, absolutely yes.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
it's just fun to try other people's concoctions. And we did the same thing when we were there for the Stout Out Loud Fest, which was a great event, too.
Oh my gosh, it's so fun. It's so fun. Everyone brings their their crazy stouts.
All the high ABVs.
I know.
All of the meat snacks you can think of.
Yes. Meat snacks, helmets,
Yeah.
all the good stuff.
I opt to not drive for that one.
Yeah. Smart.
That is smart, for sure.
So Unplugged in Elyria has their Psycho Chick Pale Ale just came out, and I mention it because it's got a cool label. Got a chick playing guitar, Marshall stack behind her. It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
I like it. I haven't had it yet, but I got to get out there. I haven't been there in a while.
No, Unplugged does that a lot with their cans, naming beers much like you guys do with either their customer base or people who play for them or some of their things in the area that are local to them.
Yeah.
Someone does something
Yeah.
fun, they put a beer out for them.
Did the Rigid Tool?
I think they
That
went
was
for
a cool
Ridge Tool,
one.
yeah. I
think
talked to them about that.
Their beers are great.
They should incorporate it. It was, I forget what it was, Wrenched, Wicked Wrenched IPA or something, but I think they missed an opportunity with Tool.
Oh, like a band name. Look at you. Always going that route. Always going that route.
So I got to mention this. Hofbrau is tapping their Fest beer tomorrow, and our friend Christine Harpring is tapping it.
Ooh,
So we're going to be there 6:30.
that sounds fun.
Yeah.
AM.
We'll be there at 5, but I think they tap it at 6:30.
Not AM. If it was AM, I guarantee you wouldn't see this gentleman right here.
I I was at Hofbrau the other day borrowing some ingredients from Josh, and he tells me he's brewing his second batch of Fest beer, and I'm like, oh, good idea. We should probably put an order in for one.
I know. We actually, it's so fast, right? The season's happened so much. People have backed them up so far. I mean, we already did 2 turns of a pumpkin ale, and that's been in the tank for a while, and it is mind-numbing.
How was the brew?
Two good brew days. Yeah, Pete obviously does a nice job in the turn. Yeah. Both of them taste really good. They both hit the gravities, and numbers were good, and which is always interesting when you're playing with pumpkin and spices.
Yeah,
and
the last 2 pumpkin beers we did were, I think, not a disaster, but it was like a 2.5 hour longer day than anticipated because of stuck mash.
Yeah, your runoff was crazy. Yeah. And so, it
happens.
Yeah. And we call it 99 pumpkins. So we do a nice a light ale, but with 99 pounds of pumpkin. And it's
a little hip-hop reference.
Yeah, 99 pumpkins, but a Yam ate one. And it's a pumpkin that may or may not look like a rapper.
Yeah.
And he may or may not be wearing a New York hat. I don't know. It is what it is.
I don't know who
those
you're
are fun.
referring to.
I don't either. Which is how we're going to keep it.
Yeah.
Just how we're going to keep it.
Yes.
But that's one of those things you try it repeatedly because that name does not come typically from just trying a pumpkin ale.
Yeah.
So lots of fun with that.
All right, I got to move on to music events.
All right.
At the Beachland Tavern, it's actually tonight, so if you're listening to this, you're probably missing it at 8 p.m. Barely Dead, Grateful Dead tribute band. I threw it in for these guys. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. in Whiskey Island, the Teabags are playing.
It's your favorite name.
I have no idea what they're about, but I just like the name, so they're in there.
I wasn't wrong when I said that.
Also, tomorrow, 8:30, Madonna's playing Rocket Mortgage. So, yeah, I kind of forgot about that. I remember that from about a year ago she was coming, but
the Material Girl.
Guilty pleasure. I do love Madonna. My wife can attest to that. So, love Madonna. Tesla at Northfield Park, August 4th. Also this Saturday, there's a big show at Blossom. Mudvayne is the headliner. Cold Chamber, Nonpoint, Guar, and Butcher Babies. That's a heavy show.
Are you going?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, we're going to Marblehead. So,
okay.
Yeah.
That wins every time.
Yeah, Marblehead wins every time.
As it should.
So, Football Hall of Fame, August 5th, Zach Brown Band.
Got to put me a little toss one out there for me, right?
That sounds like a country band.
Sounds like a country band. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Down at the Black River Landing, August 18th, we have the Atomic Punks and Motley Incorporated, which is, of course, a Motley Crue and Van Halen cover band. They get a lot of good cover bands down there.
They do.
It's actually probably the same people. They just change
names
back and play. Also, same place, September 15th, the Four Horsemen, which is a Metallica cover band, and Billy Morris is opening up. So always give a shout out to our boy Billy.
Absolutely, Billy.
Yeah,
I kind of want to go to that one. I love old Metallica and watching Billy play. It's going to be fun too.
Yeah,
we have some music at the brewery this weekend. If anyone wants to come check us out, Friday we have a punk band called Toxic Lunar Vibrations, and then Saturday, and that's at 7 o'clock. Saturday also at 7 we have an awesome jam band called the Chewy Center, which is really really good band. I think this is the third time they've been up to the brewery, so yeah, come up, jam
Chewy
out,
Center.
listen, some good music, drink some beer.
Sounds awesome. Yeah. All right, so this is the email question segment of the podcast. This is my question. It wasn't really emailed in. But what's the best beer name you ever came up with but decided not to use because it was too risque, it was too dirty, it was just...
Oh, man.
Wait, you can turn down a name because it's too offensive?
Well, I would have thought Poster Nutbag would have gotten next, but no. So.
It's just the
It's
name,
the name
of a local cat.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. We the first couple years we opened up, we had our Christmas stout was called Sexmas, which is actually a decent name.
It is
but we wanted to kind of steer away from it. It was a little too risque for us. So I forget what we changed it to.
We retired it a couple of years
We
ago.
just retired it.
Yeah. Now it's like
a Christmas
fun.
help.
fun PC holiday stout or something like that. I don't remember what we called it, but yeah, there's that one. There's we had a gentleman that used to work for us, and he used to come up with terrible beer names, and he had some pretty bad ones, but I can't even say it on air.
That's good.
How about ABC? Yeah.
My brother still to this day wants to name a beer DUIPA. It's funny. It's a horrible idea.
Oh yeah, it is a bad.
So
Yeah.
I mean, when Dad found that out, he was like, "No,
No.
not even close."
Absolutely not.
I mean, I got through Banana Hammock.
Yes.
That was a good one.
All right.
We've had a couple that have been kind of on the verge.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a collab with Hansa House called. It was a kvass, and the name of it was "Let Me Tap That Kvass," which is that was pretty good. But I'd make that beer again, Corey, if you want to. We actually had someone in like a week ago that was like, "Didn't you have like a kvass or something on?" And we remembered the beer and laughed about it.
That's great. All right, so this was actually an email question. It said, why can't we get the Blabbermalt Show on Spotify?
We've been asking the same question.
Yeah.
No lie.
So fear not, we are going to soon be on all the places you get podcasts, Apple Music, Amazon, Pocket Casts, Spotify. So we're working with the host, and we're going to get the RSS feed out. So
Heck
you'll
yeah.
be able to, some will be video, some will be audio only, but it should be fun. See where
great.
people
You
listen to
deserve
us.
it.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. So we did get one question this week that Dave wanted to use. He created his own. Don't make Dave create his own questions for our mailbag, right? So you get a hold of us again. One more time through our deeds, Dave.
Blabbermalt@gmail.com.
Blabbermalt@gmail.com.
Yeah. Give us
All
some
right.
questions.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on next week?
Well,
Before that,
next
let's do
week-
the grain out. How
Oh,
about
yeah.
that?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
almost forgot.
It's time to grain out.
That's our favorite part of the brew day, too.
My
Yeah,
gosh,
yeah.
that's to say. You can be
Clean out the
PTSD right now.
So next week, August 8th, we're going to be on location at the Cleveland Brew Shop. Darren's going to be walking us through the shop, all the ingredients. I know they have courses and they have competitions, and he's going to fill us in on all that, how you can get involved and get started homebrewing if you're not already.
Because you should.
Yeah, you should. You really should. August 15th, you and I are just going to be in studio. We're going to be sampling a bunch of beers from your vacation. And at that time, the
Heck
Waterfront Brew Fest will be over, so I'll bring in some of my beer, my
Your
unnamed.
award-winning.
Unnamed,
Yeah, well, we'll
potentially award-winning.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you have one every year in some aspect. Jerk. No.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing the next couple weeks.
Yeah, we got a
Come on.
splattering of things to do. I still have to get you guys some of those, some beers that I brought back.
No, maybe
but
we'll sneak
swing-
over and
swing by and-
secretly drink behind the scene.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
We're in front of the scenes.
We're in front of the scenes. Might be fun. Okay, so before we wrap up tonight, one more time, how to get a hold of Blabbermalt Show, Facebook.
Facebook and YouTube, The Blabbermalt Show, Instagram and X, @Blabbermalt.
Like, share, follow. It helps us out. All those shares make a big difference. Get our wonderful, wonderful guest speakers and their information out to the world. They have a great space. Terrestrial Brewing Company is a phenomenal location. Great beer, great food,
Yeah.
great people, cool, chill vibe. You're not going to be disappointed at any point in time when you're there.
You gotta
too.
come check it out.
Some of the beer names may offend you, but don't worry about that.
I don't think so. So one more time, how do they get a hold of you and where are you at?
You can hit us up on Facebook or Instagram at Terrestrial Brewing Company. Yeah. I think we're on X, maybe, or maybe not. Strike that
Yeah,
reverse.
we'll strike the X.
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys. Well, until next time.